So welcome to today's podcast. It's going to be about ethical marketing. So I already have shared my story. You have learned I scaled by my business. You have heard about just the ethical about posting. I have shared so much behind the scenes. But now it's time to start sharing how you can start doing this in your own business. I really wanted to start with first sharing my story because it may be in alignment with you, it may not. And that is okay. That's why it was so important for me to share behind the scenes. This is something I've been doing since 2018. When I was in the industry, I was working. Sometimes I would literally come home. My kids were sleeping. I would leave to go to work. My kids were sleeping. My kids were not seeing me. It was a choice I made. I was making money, like we are going through a hard time financially in my family. And I was the primary breadwinner. And the days started to switch, and I had the opportunity to take a step back. And I decided back in 2018 to just like take a leap of faith and leave the steady job that I have and not be in the salon 24/7 and run a business that was different, that was really value driven. And that's where all this journey started. I began even in 2016 as a beauty school student because I wanted to have an ethical business. I had been mistreated at a salon. I know how shitty it can feel to go somewhere to feel beautiful and leave feeling worse. So that's what really drove me to become even a hairstylist. So that's where I really wanted to really share my behind the scenes and now help you if you're ready to take your business into a more ethical marketing strategy and also to more value driven. This is for you. So in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing how to get started, and we're going to start with part one, which is your ethical values. Okay, I am in the business. For me, like, what is ethical, right? For me, it's like being in alignment with your values and who you are as a person and what you believe in. That's what ethical means to me. So marketing is pretty much just letting people know that your business exists. So I'm letting people, ethical marketing means to me, I'm letting people know that my business exists while sharing values that are in alignment with me. So I choose not to do timers. I choose not to do scarcity tactics. I choose not to be just do all of those like marketing things where like you have to convince people. My job is not to convince people. My job is to actually find people that align with my values in my business to do business with me, that decide that I am the right fit for them, and also to repel the people that are not in alignment with my values. That's what ethical marketing really means to me. So today we're going to start with the importance of values. So in your business or even as a person, you have values. There are things that you're willing to do and you agree with, and there's things that you don't. So I just gave you one of those is timers. So as a person that have had so many clients from all walks of life and all kinds of like different, like mental health scenarios, and even for myself, like anxiety has something that, and PTSD is something I've struggled with in my own life. Timers is not a fun thing for me. It can put a lot of pressure. It doesn't make, it just takes so much of the fun and the authenticity of it, because let's be real, why do you need a timer, right? Yes, there's times where there's true scarcity, right? Maybe you only have 5 products and you literally are down to your last one. That is true scarcity. You can do that. But if I was faking it, saying, hey, I'm down to my last 2 and I really have 40 of those products in the back stock room, that would be out of alignment, right? That's not really ethical. And you see that a lot in the marketing world. So when I'm talking about ethical values in your business, it's about being in alignment and being true, being honest to what you believe in. And part of that for me is I'm doing business with humans to humans. We're doing business together. It's more than just doing hair. It's more than just selling a product. It's a person that's trusting me to help them with something that's very like special and important to them. For me right now, it's hair, right? When you have your hair, like it's such an important part of who we are and, our personality and also like our own self. And I know, like, I've seen it with so many different brides and just clients, like the trust of hair is real, okay? And how, I hear horror stories, I hear all kinds of things, that they've dealt with their hair. And if you think about hair, something very intimate and personal, right? Having somebody touch your hair takes a lot of trust. Even for myself as a hairstylist, I don't let just anybody touch my hair, not because I'm full of it, but because it has a very energetic power to it too. So I'm sharing that with you because the first part that you need to try to establish in your own business is what is the values that you want to share in your business. So for me, it's clear communication, is like having like real expectations and being honest with all communication forms in regards to what I can deliver for you, what I cannot guarantee or deliver to you, and also like my boundaries. I think when we think about ethical marketing, we're like, oh my gosh, that means I can't have boundaries. No, you should have boundaries. And when you're doing ethical marketing, you're sharing what you allow and you don't, what happens and doesn't. So something for me in my business, I have a limited amount of Sunday weddings a year. The reason I do that is because Sundays for me is my family day. I love my family, and that is an alignment for me. Now, there's other hairstylists that love to work Sundays and do Sunday weddings, which is amazing, but that's not me. And I am not mad at them. I'm not judging them. It's just like I'm being in with my own values, that Sundays for my family. So that's something that I uphold in my business and that I share. So I want you to think about that as well in your own business. Maybe for you, like, I just got Green Business certified, right? So I'm trying to use less plastic. I'm trying to use less aerosols because it's not good for our environment. And it's not good for your lungs either. So it's not good for your health, right? So that's being ethical for me because I'm not just saying, hey, I'm trying to be eco-friendly. Hey, I'm trying to be green. Hey, I'm trying to use clean beauty products. I'm actually utilizing green beauty products and practices and being eco-friendly, not solely in my business, but also in my life. If you see behind me, this is my house. I'm literally in my couch. I have my little love seat and my longer couch back there. And I live a very minimal lifestyle. I don't need a lot of crap, a lot of things. I don't buy a lot of things. I keep it minimal. It's just, I don't want to have a lot of things. I don't like the impact on the environment. I don't like buying fast fashion. I don't think it's good for our environment or ourselves. If you haven't looked into this, again, I'm not judging you. I'm just like educating what I've learned is like, even with like Shein, I learned like there was some chemicals in the clothing that was really bad for people that they were buying. So that really like aligns with me that, I don't want to use that because it's bad for your health too, right? So again, that's being ethical marketing, is sharing things that I'm actually doing. I'm not just doing it because it's trendy, or I'm sharing it to be cute or in style or on trend. I'm literally saying and sharing all this because it's really part of who I am. So now I want you to think about your business. So what's ethical marketing for you? Maybe for you, it's like you don't like using timers because that creates like more anxiety and pressure on people. Maybe you're gonna promise like not to do like fake scarcity methods. So saying, hey, I have only the last 2 products left of this thing, when you really have 45 left of that product, and you're just saying that to sell, right? Scarcity products are saying, hey, like, do you want to book your date because I have another bride, when you really don't have another bride? Like, that's stuff that I've done. I literally will only say, hey, there's somebody else who inquired for your same date if there's literally are 2 or 3, which has happened. Brides are inquiring for the same date because I only do 1 wedding a day. So I'm sharing that with you because I think it's so important that we always like think about that, being ethical. It's not hard when you think about the values that you have. You're sharing that within your business and with other people. So I think it's so important. So think, what are your values? What is your business going to stand for and not stand for, right? And also, are you willing to repel people with that? I think like one of the biggest thing with marketing is people think it's like, it's my job to attract everybody. No, love, it's not your job to attract everybody. It's your job to let people know. Marketing really literally means letting people know your business exists. That is all it is. Ethical marketing means you're letting people know that your business exists within your values, and you're being ethical about it, whatever that means for you and your business, right? So for me, using timers is a big no-no. For another business that's ethical, And it is in alignment with who they are and their values as a person, because they like to know when things are over. So, right? So neither one of us are wrong. We just have different values. So I really want you to think about that. Ethical marketing is not about what's right or what's wrong for everybody to do. It's in reality, it's really about what is in value and in alignment in your business for you, so that you can attract the right people, customers, humans to buy or do business with your business, because you're in alignment. That's all it is. It's really that simple. So some other things with ethical marketing, I want you to start thinking. So now that we know that marketing is just letting people know that your business exists, is sharing your values. And this is like a big thing. I know with a lot of people, it's like, well, I don't want to share my values because I don't want it affecting my business. I don't want to repelling clients. I don't want to repelling my brides or certain, collaborations, all these different things, right? And it's not about that. Like, for me, I know I have certain values that are very important to me, and if people are not in alignment with that, they probably shouldn't be doing business with me. And I'm not gonna take it to heart. I'm not gonna be, mad or sad about it. Like, I love and I respect that they know we're not in alignment for each other. So I think we need to get more comfortable with that part, because part of marketing is you don't market to everybody and anybody who wants to do business with you. You market to that one client that is meant to do business with you. And I want you to think about that. So even within my own business, there is similarities in my clients, in my brides, or people who I do their hair. There's certain things that they all have in common, and I've done that with purpose, right? That means that the messaging I'm sharing out to the world, like, hey, this business exists, these are my values, is attracting the right type of people, because they have similarities in their values as well. So I want you to start thinking about that. That part of marketing is to repel. So let's talk about that, because you're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to repel. So yes, you do. So I want you to think about this. So right now, I'm literally wearing my Nike shoes. Okay, the running shoes. They're really comfortable to go to work with. Okay, they support me because I'm up in my feet. I would love to wear heels. I used to be that hairstylist that wore heels, but my feet would be very angry with me, and my back would be too. So I use Nike to support my feet. Now, am I in alignment still with all that Nike has been doing lately? Yes and no. Okay, so what does that mean? Maybe I'm open to the possibilities next time I need a pair of shoes to buy it from another company that's more in alignment with me. And I'm sharing that with you because maybe you're a person where you're like, there's no way I would ever buy a pair of Nike shoes. That's amazing. That means Nike did their job. They're repelling the right people and also attracting the right consumer. So I want you to think about that. It's not our job to do business with everybody. It's our job to really attract to do business with the right people that are in alignment with us. So let's talk about other part of ethical marketing. It can be communication or booking, right? Maybe for you, your booking system is that you love to talk to your clients. So the only way to book you is to get on a phone call. Okay. If you let people know that straight up from the beginning, you're sharing your values that, hey, if you want to do business with me, it's really important that you book your call. Okay. So that means people who love to be on the phone or don't mind getting on a phone call, they're going to get a phone call, talk to you, and book you. People that are like, heck no, I only do everything via email and text, you're going to repel them. That's good, right? Because if you're a person that loves to talk to everybody over the phone before you book them, then that would be really good for you. So I want you to think about that. Everything you do, whether you offer texting, whether you offer just online booking, whether you offer, whatever your business is, whether you only ship items because your service, you're a product-based business and you're like, okay, well, I don't have a physical location, but I love to ship everything. That's how my business is ran. You're going to attract and repel the right people for that, right? There's people that love to touch things and go into the store to buy the things. So with ethical marketing, it really doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be hard. It's just really about being in alignment and in values. And so now you're probably like, okay, Celeste, this so sounds great. So how are you going to share all those values on social media? So let me share it with you. So you can share them in different ways. You can share them through client stories. And always, of course, with consent. So part of me with my ethical marketing is asking for consent and making sure my clients are okay with me sharing their face. I literally do have clients and brides that have asked me not to share them on social media, not because they're trying to hide me, but because, they have their own beliefs about social media and what they want shared or not. And, if you think about it, a wedding is something so private and intimate. Not everybody wants to share it for everybody to see, right? So I respect that. And that's part of my business. It might not be trending with like a lot of social media experts, like people say, oh my gosh, you need to grow your following, you need to record every single wedding. In my opinion, not every single wedding is to be recorded. There are things that are intimate that the bride deserves to keep to herself. That doesn't have to be shared with everybody. And that's just my own belief. And it's okay that people don't agree with it. It's okay that social media experts, marketing experts disagree with it. That's totally okay, but it's a value driven with myself. So that's something that I've shared before. I've shared that my brides I don't have to share your content if you don't want to. And some of them don't. Some of them ask me, hey, can you post my pictures after my wedding? Some of them, can you not post my pictures at all? Or can you just take a picture but don't share my face? There's different things that brides do at different times, and I never judge them for them. That's their values, and their feelings matter to me because we are humans doing business with humans. And part of my promise for my brand and for my business is that I am going to remember that you are a human and treat you with, kindness and respect and direct communication of boundaries for one another, right? Just like they have their boundaries, I have my boundaries as well. So think about fun ways that you can share that. For me, right? I am using a shampoo bar and shampoo conditioner. Is that for everybody? No, but I'm just sharing that's something that's important to me because I'm trying to reduce, plastic usage. I've shared, like why do I not use aerosols? Aerosols are so bad for you. There's a series coming out soon on my social media for next month. I know it's gonna ruffle a lot of feathers. It's gonna make a lot of people mad, but it's the reality of how toxic all that shit is for us. It's kind of scary. So, right? So I'm sharing, it's ethical. I'm sharing what I believe in. I'm not judging people that they don't want to go down that path, right? There's people that don't care, or maybe they do care, but it's not a priority for them to have like clean beauty products or not use aerosols, and I respect that. For me, it is, right? Because for me, it's a health concern. So that's something that I try to do. So I'm just sharing all this stuff because like there's so many fun ways that you can share it. It doesn't have to be all serious and stuff. You can share in a fun way. You can share how you did how you produce like a product using recycled materials. You can share how your salon is different because everything is thrifted, right? So you have you did a whole new salon decor with a thrifted items that you bought, or how you upcycle things or how you recycle things, or just in your wardrobe. There can be so many fun ways to do it. Like literally my couches are, holy crap, they're 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old, which is insane. So yeah, they're 4 years old. So my couches are super old, but I love them. Like they're comfy and they're the best. And are they on trend anymore? No. Now it's all about different colors and fun things. But you know what? I'm being conscious of the earth. They still work. They're still good condition. I can keep them in my house, right? So you can share different things about being with your ethical marketing. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be all that serious. It has to really show what makes you different. In a sea of so many businesses and so many product service business and so many service-based businesses, you need to stand out by sharing who you truly are. And I know like for the longest time, people are like, oh my gosh, Les, you don't grow. You grow so slow on social media. You know why I don't grow on social media so fast? Because I don't do what's trending. I do what's driven with value with me. And also I remember that business is a part of my life, but it's not my whole life. I'm not my business. I'm not my success. My worth is not defined by my work. So I always share a lot of ethical things that people find alignment and some people don't align with and decide to unfollow me. And I don't get mad at it. Like I don't take it personal. Like we outgrow each other, right? So the more right now in 2026, honestly, with all the things that are about to happen, it's really important that you differentiate yourself and that you are strong enough to stand up and be different from everybody else. So we started with episode number one of this series for ethical marketing. Number one today, your homework, if you want to go on this ride with me, is what are your values? What does your business stand for? It doesn't stand for. My business is Green Business Certified. My business tries to be eco-friendly as much as it can. That's why I bought a vintage trailer to remodel. That's why I use brushes. They get sanitized and disinfected properly so I can reuse them, so I don't have to buy new things all over the time, all over again and again. That's why I don't use a lot of plastic. I use things that can be reused, right? Like when I give my brides their little baggie, like it's a reusable bag. So it's just all different things. I want you to start thinking about that and start sharing it with the world. And I want to end with this part of your values-driven business. Like, you're going to write down your values, right? What are your top 5 values? Okay, 5. You don't need 25. It's easy to get 25, but you just need like 5, maybe 3, okay? You may be like, Celeste, I'm scared. I'm scared that if I share what my values are, that I'm going to repel people. You are going to repel people, and that's a good thing, because you want to attract people who are in the same value-driven system as you, and they're ready to do business with you and are ready to pay your prices. Number 2, Celeste, I'm scared if I share what my values are and what makes my business different, people are going to copy you. People can always copy us, okay? Especially with ChatGPT. I mean, I don't use AI, but I know a lot of people love using AI, which I feel like it just dilutes everybody, but that's just me. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it. People can copy you. It's okay. Nobody can be you. And I know it sounds so freaking like annoying and like cliche, like, oh my gosh, Celeste, like you're trying to be cutesy with this. No, like nobody can be you. Nobody can be me, right? I'm a 40-year-old woman. I have lots of life experience. I've gone through a lot of hard things, okay? My life experience and my outlook of things and what I can do is going to be different from somebody who probably hasn't have half the life experience I've had. People can try to copy me, but nobody has my voice. Nobody has my essence, right? Nobody has your voice. Nobody has your essence. Nobody has the way that you do things. You know, we all can get the same result, but we may do it differently. So take that as a compliment. When people copy you, take it as a compliment more than like, oh my gosh, they're trying to be like me. And number 3, like, it's so important that you differentiate yourself by also tapping into your humanity, right? So for me, like when I got married, we had a wedding and we paid it ourselves, and it was $12,000. Looking at it now, we should have bought a fucking house. We should have not had that $12,000 wedding, okay? We didn't even talk to I think we only talked to now maybe 5 of those people of the 125 people that went to our wedding. Yeah, so we should have bought a house. But I've learned also having a wedding, how expensive it can be. I know how stressful it can be. I know also like how much it can affect that people don't consider your feelings into things. So I just think it's so important for me, more than just doing a wedding, it's really being part of somebody's life and day. And it's just like every time after I'm done with a wedding, I'm so sad because I know I don't get to talk to that person all the time anymore. And it makes me so sad. But I just really, really, really want to invite you to look at yourself and look at your business. What are your values? And don't be afraid to share them. Don't be afraid to be different. I know it can be so scary, because even for me, for the longest time, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm being such a weirdo. Nobody's doing this. Nobody's working part-time. Nobody's an educator, getting paid to be an educator and working part-time behind the chair. People do that all the time now. With my mobile business, nobody has a mobile business. I literally know of 2 other mobile businesses here in my county. Actually 3 of them that have mobile businesses too. Beauty businesses are different. So, like, that's what I mean. Like, it's not about competition. It's not about originality. I really feel like when you have an idea, if you don't execute it, it gets given to somebody else, and that idea grows. And for me, ethical marketing is about really starting a movement and a growth that we can do business, we can get sales, we can get customers, we can be profitable, but also by being ethical, by not doing all the slimy crap that people are doing of doing scarcity tactics or tactics that are so forceful to force people, like, you need to have this or else your life will never be the same. That's a BS. Unless it's really medicine that you really need, or support that you really need in your life. There's some stuff that sometimes you do need, stuff like that. We don't need anything for real, so it's gonna save our life. Or it's like, ultimately we need to do. Okay, we don't need to do nothing. And being ethical has helped me. Being ethical has helped me open up doors, opportunities, collaborations. It's always been done organic. I have not paid a single dollar. Okay, I always say it costs money or it costs your time. So I give my time, and that has helped me by just staying true in alignment with who I am, communicating that to my clients. So for this week's homework, I want you to go choose your 5 or 3 words that are really the values that you really want to start sharing with on your social media. Okay, so what are those 3 or 5 words that you're going to constantly be sharing on social media? And I want you to really think about that. So go find your words, and I will see you back here next week for part 2 of this. So I think it's really important before we even begin the marketing aspect of it for you to remember marketing is just letting people know that your business exists, and your values for the ethical part of your business is really important that you really sit down, journal it or think about it, or really look up words, or even just look at your own website or services or what your clients tell you, to really think, what are things that I seriously stand by in my business that I will not move from, and I will not stand down on. Like, that I really do believe this and I'm going to stand up for. Those are the values in your business. And then from that part, we'll go next week into the marketing aspect of all this. Okay, so with that, so much love. I'll see you back here next week. Bye, love.